Hello everyone, I'm Renowned Zero, and we are back again talking about who is the biggest grifter in indie comics out there. Who wants to sit up here and call all the people grifters while he sits up here and drama tubes and cries about another man's success in the indie space where he was dethroned as the king of indie comics, even though Berserker already dethroned you as the king of indie comics when the Berserker series came out with 3 volumes that did more money than Cyberfrog 2, which, by the way, I just learned a new thing that Alpha Core #1 actually sold more comics than Cyberfrog 2, even with the second campaign or second chance campaign of Cyberfrog 2. Seems like Alpha Core still sold more books, and I'm sure they'll continue to sell more books than Cybercuck 2, but we're going to get into all of this and we're going to have a great laugh. I will give you some warning about certain videos that are going to be loud. I'll give people a heads up before I play them. But again, we're going to get into this campaign here with Yara #1, 9,400 purchasers, over 16,000 books sold. It's kind of interesting that people are so interested in the campaign that's going on, even though they're not interested in actually buying or being a customer. It's very weird that they want to sit up here and focus so much energy on what someone else is doing when they don't actually care about this stuff. But if I sit up here and I, kind of play defense to other people throwing lies, it's I am a simp, I am this, I'm that, and people just basically think they can sit up here and throw out lies into the ether while I sit here and go, no, that's not the case. Here's why you're wrong. And they'll sit up here and say, I'm, doing all these weird things for Air July, even though it's you guys throwing out the homoerotic fantasies that you wish you could perform on other men because you're pretty freaking gay. But we're going to move on to something that was shown to me just recently from MSK. Shout out to MSK. Go follow him on Twitter and YouTube. Kick, I think Twitch and Rumble. But it's kind of interesting how people are so invested in something they don't actually care about. You want to sit up here, the comic dude, right? The comic dude that doesn't have anything going on for themselves. The comic dude that doesn't have any projects going on for themselves. Saying that the riptards need to stand up, step up for their Yaira statue, which it would be pretty funny if this campaign does reach 2 million. It's like, what are they going to do after if it reaches 2 million? Are they going to shift the goalpost to getting 3 million? Because it doesn't really matter what the goalpost is. It'll always continue to be shifted. And it's very interesting that people like this are around, especially people like this. Dude's literally calling himself Caps Only Comics. It's like the fat person named Riley calling himself For Canon's Sake and Young Clippa. But again, they want to sit up here and say that I want to be the white version of Air July. You literally have a person who is mimicking everything Air July does with the Clipperverse and Young Clippa and For Canon's Sake. Yet for some strange reason, I'm the one that wants to be like Eric July. But we're gonna listen to the biggest grifter in the universe. Kind of a play on words from the biggest problem in the universe. We'll call him the biggest grifter in the universe, Ethan Van Sciver, who decided to, of course, EFAB my video because what else does he have to do besides having late books all the time and never getting a dang thing out? But we got some good news that we'll be showing later on in the video. And they want to sit up here and cry that I did 43 minutes of a video debunking all of the weirdos' claims of Ripperverse being a cult, and because apparently, according to that clown, being a fan of something and buying a bunch of product, right, means you're in a cult. Which, by the way, Ethan, those statues that are up there on this dresser are worth more than your Cyberfrog would be worth. That franchise right there will be remembered forever. Cybercuck won't be remembered forever. Cybercuck will be a fart in the wind like it is in the entire indie comic space, as it has been and always will be. If you want to sit up here and say, oh, that no one will remember you, please. By the way, Earthworm Jim has been around since the 90s, similar to a Cyberfrog. But you know what's really funny? I guarantee Earthworm Jim is still more well known and still more talked about than Cybercuck will ever be. That's the most hilarious part about it all. But let's listen to what Ethan Van Scumbag has to say about me being a grifter on Air July success. Oh no. Success and want to bite at his ankles constantly because.
I love it, man.
By the way, this genius down here says, I bet he films at that angle because his place is filthy and that's the only shot that doesn't fully show it. Well, instead of being an actual normal human being and, asking me why my camera is the way it is, which, by the way, Ethan Van Dumbass is a freaking boomer because his audience is so retarded that he's watching my video in SD. He's watching my video in standard definition. That's how stupid his audience is. His audience is so stupid, they don't realize the boomer is watching my video in standard definition like a freaking clown from the 80s. And the reason the camera is this way is because the camera cord is short, stupid. It's a small camera, which, by the way, some clown in this chat, we're going to read the chat, and we're going to read a little bit of the comments too. Some clown in this chat says, I should get a better camera. Bro, my camera is 1080p 60 frames per second. It's better than most streamers' cameras that aren't doing it professionally or for a living. Clearly, I'm doing very well for myself if I'm using a camera that's 1080p 60 FPS. And I have pretty decent audio. I may not have the best audio, but I got pretty decent enough audio that people love to watch and listen to what I have to say, and I appreciate everyone who does. But let's go over here, right? Let's go over here to the chat. Let's go over here to the chat. Literally the same exact thing can be said about people liking Comicsgate. So there are people that even disagree with, Rippaverse being a cult. Saying CG is basically a cult. People are speculating on Rippaverse because these are first issues. They don't necessarily like him all that much. Isom's story was retarded. No, you're retarded because the majority of you idiots don't even understand the story at all. Meanwhile, the people who have actually read it can understand it pretty freaking well. It's kind of interesting how that works. You either like something or you don't. No crap. These people that are in here saying $75 for 8 pages, if you think that's worth it for people who aren't being paid by Eric, like Sturgis. Who is Sturgis? Hashtag who is Sturgis? No one really ever knows. It's just some weird name that a bunch of Tweedledee and Tweedledum weirdos made up for me. But apparently I'm paid by Eric July. I'm still waiting for that paycheck to come in, just like he's waiting for the paycheck to come in from the Blaze that people claim that he gets paid by. 43 minutes is so long. Well, you don't have to watch my 43 minutes, which from a 33-minute video that I've seen, he only watches about 2.5 minutes before he starts talking about Katie did F's dogs. I mean, sure. Eric invited vampires into his house. I never realized vampires existed. I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke, which it's hilarious. And we're gonna get into what what these people are talking about. The 8 pages of doodles. Doodles typically don't amount to full-grown anatomy. They're called doodles for a reason. Of course, we have Pete Callan, who's a clown who's always in my posts. Eventually, I blocked him because he's really annoying and really fucking retarded. It really does make very much a lot of sense at this point as to why he's so stupid. He's literally a mod for one of the biggest morons in indie comics. So these people are so hung up on how much money I make on YouTube, right? So I don't make a big deal out of how much money I make on YouTube. I simply say I make money monetizing my haters. It's the haters and the clowns and all the dummies, the Rippaverse detractors on Twitter, who sit up here and claim that I make huge amounts of money on Twitter when I've never made that claim. It's them that are blowing it all out of proportion. But you want to sit here and claim I make 63 cents in ad revenue. Meanwhile, you're a dumbass who doesn't know how YouTube works because you don't do YouTube. You sit up here and mod people because you have a blue wrench and think you're special at some point. You found out that Daddy Ethan thinks you're special, so he gave you a little wrench to play with. He gave you a little toy to play with in a chat, and somehow you think you're special. He sleeps with every item Ripper ever sold on his bed. Yeah, because you don't have gay fantasies like the rest of your clown audience in here with you in the chat. For $100, I got 7 Cyberfrog comics. Congratulations, they're not worth anything. We're going to show that in just a little bit as well. So, does he pray towards a building too? Oh. So, after Andy Worski, right? After Andy Worski and PPP clown on Dick Masterson, which we're going to talk about that clip, by the way. I'm going to be playing that clip. We're going to definitely be doing that. Which, by the way, the concept art book doesn't have 8 pages. I actually have the concept art book, which I didn't pay $75. I paid way less than that. It actually has double that page count, and it's a pretty decent concept art book for what it is. I've seen other concept art books. I have plenty of other concept art books, which they're not really concept art books. They're actually full-blown art books. I know there's a guy in here that says, oh, you can get an art book of 400 pages for $50. Meanwhile, it's not a concept art book. It's just a regular art book of completed art, not concepts of characters in the universe of Ripperverse, right? So we'll keep going down here. Apparently, I have piss bottles. Apparently, I'm apparently the quartering as well. I'm the quartering secret identity apparently because the angle shows up the nose. Ooh, wow. Again, I've heard way worse insults in my entire life than any of these clowns could ever say. It's like, I don't really care. Dude, I've grown up with thick skin. I've grown into thick skin. Nothing you clowns on the internet have ever said to me actually affects my daily life. Only thing you guys do for me is make me money. You're just content at the end of the day. So we're going to go into the comments real quick. The Quartering Coffee Company is the dumbest name ever. All the coffee grifting is cringe because a lot of people are doing that. $75 for an 8-page pamphlet. Wow. An 8-page pamphlet with a plain white cover. The one that, that says ISOM on the front. It says the official and original concept art of Ripperverse Comics. That also says, who the letterer is, the concept artist is, and the narrator is of the book, right? $75 for that. Didn't Dick Masterson say this was a scam too? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when do I guess definitions change on the fly? Apparently, scam means I paid for a product and received it. I thought it was I paid for a product and I didn't receive it. I thought that's what a scam was. Yeah. Trash so late in the night that became early in the morning. 75 pages. $75 for 8 pages of 3D assets. You got scammed. There's no 3D assets in that book. These guys are so stupid and lost in the sauce of this nonsense that they think everything is 3D assets. It's just like the guy I was doing the video on who claimed that the Ripperverse short box was drawn by Cliff Richards, like the dumbass that he is, because he can't seem to understand or see the difference between Cliff Richards' artwork and Kanan White's artwork. So it's interesting that he disrespected an artist that Ethan Van Sciver suggested that Eric July hired. So the same cult member people that you have insulted an artist that you like, but you never said anything about that. I'm sure you didn't say anything about that. Whew, man, it's very interesting how this whole thing went down. Let's just listen to this real quick.
All those guys who are grifting on Eric July's success, like, keep it up, dude. Why wouldn't they? That's what you're doing, Sturgis.
That's what you're doing, Sturgis. You make 4+ hour live streams. You're literally doing that. You're literally nipping at the ankles of Eric July's success. You're limping at the ankles of the man and hating on his success daily. You've said things like, people only like you because you're black. Those are things that you have said. I have clips of that in videos. The internet is forever.
Grifting on his success. They're grifting on his failure.
There's no failure. He's doing better than you, dumbass. He's doing better than you in indie comics and has been doing better than you since ISOM 1. ISOM 1 has made more money than every single campaign you've ever put out. What a huge failure that Eric July is as he's expanding his business. Oh, it makes so much sense that he's such a failure that he's creating new characters and new books in a universe. and expanding to help other indie creators fulfill their campaigns. But he's such a failure because you're projecting your failure onto somebody else. Which, by the way, let's get into this real quick. Your rarest Cyberfrog variant, right? Your rarest Blood Honey variant, which is the Orange Man variant, right? Most recent thing was $150. It's so clown world, right? Isn't it so funny that the ISOM concept art book that your entire chat and comment section clowned on recently sold for $300 on March 23rd? Isn't it interesting how terrible that concept art book is? How how bad it is, right? Supposedly $75. It's way less. I paid less for it. So it's so terrible that it outsold your best variant on eBay in recent weeks. Oh, that must suck for you. By the way, this says HD. My camera runs in 1080p 60 frames per second. Your boomer ass is watching my video in standard definition, as I already said. So at the end of the day, you freaking said just now that Tony's a grifter, Katie's a grifter, and everyone else that talks about Eric's failure is a grifter. So thank you, Ethan Van Sciver, for confirming that everybody who talks about Eric July's failure is a grifter. So if I'm a grifter, right, supposedly, doesn't that make you a super grifter? I guess that would make you a super grifter then. Because judging by your campaigns, people are still asking for refunds. 4 days ago, someone asking a refund for Snowman. People asking for refunds for Dark Harvest. People asking for refunds for Blood Honey, Honeycomb box for Cyberfrog 2 Wreck Planet. People not getting stuff with their figures, like this gentleman here, saying he didn't get his chicken fried bucket. Which is interesting, because look, I have a chicken fried bucket right here. Wow, it must suck for you that I actually show a chicken fried bucket on my freaking camera that your audience seems to complain about. 3 years and no book for Rainbow the Brute 4 days ago. Still waiting on that refund for Wreck Planet. Get no updates. Haven't received my posters of Pit. Haven't received my posters of Pit. Oh, how that sucks for you. But let's talk about Doug Tenapo wrecking you, by the way. Right here.
Because they're when I left cancel culture to go into comics, and there's this alleged right-wing conservative comic group, and I joined them, and they were all SJWs, and they were all pro-rainbow flag, and they all were angry that I was a Christian Republican, and they were all pro-choicers, and I'm a pro-lifer. So they tried to cancel my company.
So this is what he's talking about, where Ethan say he's a hero to the alphabet community. You know, the alphabet community that he's always against when it comes to the T's? That same alphabet community that he's always against when it comes to the T's grooming children. By the way, trans kids don't exist.
Yes, the head guy went and started tweeting to my companies where I created Earthworm Jim and tried to get me to lose that license by bringing up that I was anti-rainbow, anti-same-sex marriage. So that is what a SAW does. So that's why you're blocked. And frankly, that's why you'll remain blocked.
Which, by the way, if you want to put it into perspective, Earthworm Jim 1 was the best-selling indie comic when it came out, and it's still outselling Cyberfrog 3. It made $815,000, and that means it's doing better than Cyberfrog 3. So that should be a huge cope for old Ethan Van Sciver. But you decided to get rid of an artist named Matt Barr in favor of cornographers and water sport corn. You decided to get rid of Matt Barr and block Matt Barr, who was working on this book called Rock and Roll Ninja, written by Chuck Dixon. that someone just received it yesterday. They received their book yesterday as of this update right here. So at least the person that you removed, the person that you blocked, the person that you got rid of in favor of a bunch of clowns, a bunch of degenerates, like Katie did F's dogs, and Frog Tony, the mega grifter, at least he gets his books out to people, unlike you. He gets his books out, unlike you. So, go figure. But we also have this clip for Kino Casino, which is with Andy Worski and PPP. Now, before I play this clip, it will get loud as soon as I click play. So if you're wearing headphones or you're not prepared to be yelled at by the audio, I'm just warning you now that it does get loud right in the beginning. I'm going to play it right now.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because I'm not jealous of the money. I don't fucking care about the money. Do you understand?
Wait.
I don't care about the money as I'm screaming about Eric July being successful. That is so hilarious.
Wow.
He definitely sounds like he's not jealous, man. He sounds like... James, are you fucking serious?
What happened?
James is claiming that Dick Masterson has come in to defend COG.
No way.
Surely Dick Masterson isn't that desperate for clout now that he's trying to leech it off COG. I mean, that's the ultimate evidence that...
So I'm just gonna skip ahead to this right here. We're talking about this.
No, I mean, it's about Eric July. Just look at the seethe and the fucking rage on this guy. Telling me about the fucking Streisand effect. I don't fucking care if people buy...
By the way, that's amazing. It did Streisand affect Eric July. His new comics at like 1.5 million. And you know what they're coping now? The whole cope with EVS and the crew? Is that it's woke because it stars a girl.
Of course. And stop telling me about the fucking Streisand effect. I don't fucking care if people buy the comic or pirate it. I don't fucking care if people read it.
Streisand effect.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. I don't care if I'm helping the marketing for this fucking book.
He doesn't care that he's helping the marketing of this book as he gets angry about Eric July being successful, way more successful than you'll ever be in your life.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care, guys. You can clearly tell how much he doesn't care by how much he's clearly seething and screaming in rage and turning into a fucking tomato at the thought of Eric July's success.
I haven't seen him this mad in like a long time.
I know.
Wow.
I don't know why he's so fucking mad. It should have been me, Sean. Sean, I should have made all this money, Sean. I should have been a millionaire, Sean, but this black guy, he stole it all from me, Sean. Fuck him. I don't know, like...
Arthur 7000
Oh,
says,
man.
You made them an extra 2 million, Dax. That is fucking true.
He's talking about...
It doesn't matter.
He's talking about ISOM 1.
Right now, I'm yelling so loud because I don't care, Sean. I don't care, Sean. Like, off, man. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't fucking matter.
Whoa, that scared me.
Then why do you scream? It doesn't matter.
I unpaused it.
Well,
Like snapped. Okay,
I don't know what to tell you, but it's
That's so good, just listening to this crack smoker meltdown. But it's very interesting that EVS, of course, talks about me behind a block. He's been talking about me behind a block for a couple days because I live in his head rent free just about as much as, Yellow Flash and Eric July live in this man's head rent free. He's saying, I can see why Sturgis might be mad about Sciver Frog. There's a plot, unique characters with clearly drawn motivations, suspense, cliffhangers. Cliffhangers are gay, by the way. And deep lore that exists and is built upon with every installment. Villains are diabolical and despicable and the heroes are brave and determined to win. So Darren Fontana wasn't a villain. He wasn't diabolical. It wasn't a street level story where he was a mastermind and a kingpin. Wow. ISOM wasn't determined to find Jasmine, apparently, because that never happened. Yeah, a plot. It's funny how he's saying there's a plot. The fact that you have to even say that there's a plot is the most stupidest thing you could ever say. Well, no shit. Everything has a fucking plot, you retard. You have to be fucking stupid. And I'm going to say it again, as I always do. Joe Ball is a better artist than you, clown. His book's going to be better than yours and cost less money. Like, I own Cyberfrog, stupid. If I have to sit through another Eric July video, he's going to cry. He's going to cry that he makes super chats of talking about Eric July because he can't talk about his own comics because they're all freaking late. Clown. Which you're saying, Jedi Sturgis. By the way, this is a self-owned because Star Wars has made more money even under Disney than you have making your own comic books. So congratulations. Congratulations on putting me in a multi-billion-dollar franchise. This is about as stupid as someone calling me Hagrid, one of the most beloved characters in Harry Potter. Played by an actor that people loved. Clown. It's like you cannot come up with something that's actually good or makes any sense to try to be a diss or an own. You're a fat, overweight, out of shape dude who's almost 50, who lives in New Jersey, complaining about a fucking black guy being better than you at your own craft, being better than you in your own industry, making more money at a much younger age than you. It's the funniest thing to watch. Why is it so hard for you to stop being a jealous hack and just get your freaking books out? Because Eric July smacked you in the face with reality? Because he knows you got late books and you decide to say, he's attacking crowdfunding. No, he's saying you're a fucking clown and you're a hypocrite and you're a freaking loser and you're a freaking hack. You're an absolute hack. But now you want to say, oh, Snowman is now printing to make it all better after people have waited years for this book when you claimed that you couldn't pay for it, that shipping would cost too much. Somehow you got the money from somewhere. You got the money from somewhere, right? You definitely got it from somewhere. Even though you want it to be all about freaking, talking about how this, making fun of the fact that this bridge went down, right?
Up saying that
Oh, sure.
Free fall right there.
callers have called up saying that they heard a large bang.
Look, it's Matt Barr's career.
Boom.
Oh, that's
Now,
the ship right there. Okay, hold on.
All
right, here's the ship. Look at it.
So while you're making fun of a bridge affecting the lives of a lot of people and possibly people, passing away because they die, right? People die, people pass away. And of course, like clockwork, your little attack dog puts out a meme talking about this bridge going down. Because as usual, like clockwork, he literally always replies with the exact same type of stuff you do. Because he has no individual thought in his freaking brain whatsoever. No original thought in his freaking brain. None. I have Cyberfrog too, you clown. I have warts and all, you clown. It's right over here. But you know what's funny? Because it's not included in here. Let's take a look at something that costs the same amount of money as your freaking Cybercuck. Oh, I don't know. Bigfoot Bill 2 or Bigfoot Bill 1. By the way, these are hardcover books with gilded edges. These are $25, the same amount it costs to get your book. $25. This is a hardcover, 160-page book for $25 by Doug TenNapel, who was your competition, who made $815,000, the biggest indie comic until Berserker came out, and then it became ISOM 1. So you're not the biggest name in comics, in indie comics, because you got outdone by Boom Studios first, and then you got outdone by Eric July. And you were still crying about the Common America guys. Meanwhile, I have how many books there? 8? I have 8 books, and you've put out 2 Cyberfrogs. Is they're about to launch a 9th Common America book, and they're on Black Ops 6. and Soul Finder, I think 3. Well, you're still at Cyberfrog 2. You're still at Cyberfrog 2. Meanwhile, someone like Graham Nolan has put out all these books, and he's doing his own thing, away from you, putting out his own product. Putting out his own stuff. I can buy Unforgettable Tales, sold for $25. Congratulations. Someone really made money. No, they didn't. Where? $30. People are buying this stuff at retail, basically. Probably less than what you sold it in for your campaign. I saw him cover C. This is sold for more than double. $35 comic can sell for $88. I wonder if you can do that. I'm sure, of course, there's always going to be, auctions and buyouts that don't do anywhere near as good. You're not going to sit up here and act like you're freaking great. Your comics aren't great. They're not selling for a lot more on the aftermarket unless it's a variant. Meanwhile, ISOM can continue to sell for more than double, while yours can't. So congratulations, clown. You're still a laughingstock. You like to come at me. I'm a small channel, 1,900 subscribers. Appreciate everyone who hits subscribe. Appreciate everyone who watches the videos. But you want to sit up here and grift on Iron Age, create Friday Night Trash because Friday Night Tights, the people that ignore you completely, and you sit up here and cry like a big beta male because they don't notice you anymore. Because you're irrelevant. You're a washed up comic pro. There are people, like I said, like Joe Ball, better artist than you. Kanan White, better artist than you. Your comics wouldn't look anywhere good if you didn't have Kyle Ritter doing the colors for you. His colors are fantastic. But you're not the big dog in indie comics anymore, and you can't handle it. You better figure that out. Stop being such a narcissist. The wealth is not a fixed pie. Either put up or shut up. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Comment below what you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or live stream. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.